The former site of the FORL Championship race plays host to race 4 of the Season 3 of the FORL Cup Series, and it's going to be the Sun Valley 130 that leads us all back to Avondale, Arizona for 130 laps of hard charging racing around this 1-mile circuit. Qualifying underway in Phoenix as it stands, and it looks like we got the header wrong for our race. Give us just a moment to deal with that as we come live on FTN. Qualifying has only just begun. Andrew Cootie currently holds the provisional pole placement, and there are still many more drivers looking to take a timed lap. James Bomar, your defending winner's on your screen at the moment, and he's still got a ways to go until his qualifying run is over. He currently finds himself scored in position number 15. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remain until qualifying ends, so we're going to take just a second to bring you all the action in qualifying, and we're going to throw it to a brief advertisement break just before the race gets on its way. Bomar gonna spin after the line. That's gonna end his qualifying run. Defending champion Max Molina now scored in second here in qualifying, and Connor Zola, done with his run, looks to be scored in 24th. Chance Parker, position 23, gonna skid to the pit road, and he's gonna get tagged on the way. Many drivers have taken their times already, still a few in the wings. Ross Corlett is one of which. So we got another driver going out to pit road as it stands. 91 machine, second place, his best finish on the season so far. However, we'll be right back just to make sure all our timing and scoring information is correct. So give us just a second, and we'll be back before the race begins live on FTN. We're just getting started. Here was a brief infomercial from our friends at iRacing if you want to know more about what we're doing tonight.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And as we return from our FTN break of the day, courtesy of iRacing, we're back, of course, here in Phoenix Raceway. Ross Corlett, the man still on your frame, and qualifying is still underway here in the Valley of the Sun 130 now. You'll see it, the Sun Valley 130, and Phoenix Raceway plays host to qualifying with only 5 minutes remaining. Andrew Cootie still provisional pole. Ross Corlett looks to be locked in as 17th here. He'll come back down pit road in a field of over 30 drivers tonight. He will be starting in the middle of the pack. The 91's qualifying run is over, and with that in mind, nobody else is on the track. Most of the drivers got their laps in very early, which means now, unless we get a surprise out of Joey Stone, Brody Tostaika, Justin Mons, and Michael Cormenis, the track is empty, and we've got a bit of time to discuss your starting grid before the race gets on its way, so we will take that opportunity and show you your lineup for tonight's race. Phoenix Raceway, most recently the site of the Season 2 Championship finale. Max Molina came home a race winner and a champion, taking the checkered flag after the end of 100 laps in a nighttime race here at Phoenix. Well, tonight it's going to be a bit different. Phoenix is not going to be at night. It's going to be a daytime setting in the sim with 30 extra laps added on. 130 laps, no more stage breaks, and we have more drivers up to over 30 tonight, and we could see 35 if more enter late. So without further ado, let's get your starting grid for the Sun Valley 130 here in Phoenix Raceway. way. And to lead off the grid, it's going to be the driver, the number 9 machine, already a winner in Southern California. It was Andrew Cootie, your Sonoma winner, back again at number 9 on pole position. 27.819 for him, as Max Molina is going to be outside of row number 2 with a 27.894. Henry Kaloff, yet another impressive run, puts him in 3rd in qualifying with a number 63 machine there with a 28.091. And the 48, not Jimmy Johnson, Thomas Johnson, 4th on the board, 28.134 for him. 5th going to be Joe Reinhardt in the number 78 machine with a 28.155, and Zach Todger from the number 54 puts himself in 6th with a 28.164. Jacob Wilkerson, already a winner this season at Daytona, 7th with a 28.215, and Xander Prestige 8th with a 28.236. Vincent Guecci going to be just a 6/10 of a thousand marker behind. It's going to be a deficit very small that puts him in 9th. Outside row 10 going to be Brandon Redford with a 28.271. Wesley Kutznoff is going to be in the 11th with a 28.274, and Joseph Lewis will round out your top dozen. Brandon Rismiller qualifies in 13th with James Bomar, your defending winner from Kansas, in 14th, 28.328 for him. Jordan Herring going to be position number 15 with Beaver Serrano number 16. It's going to be Ross Corlett in 17th and Dustin Pickle in 18th with Jay Becker subbing for Alex Jones in 19th, and to round out the top 20, Michael Deitch in the 57 with a 28.577. To go from there, Kyle Freeman, your Season 1 champion, won his championship at this track. He starts 21st with Hunter Bogdan 22nd and Brandon McNeil in 23rd. Chance Parker going to be position number 24, and Connor Zola with a 32.667, the final man to take a timed lap. It's going to be Bryce Hamrick, race control for tonight. He'll be requalified after qualifying session is over and classified as a driver behind the rest of the field. In addition, drivers that did not take a time include Joey Stone, Brody Tostaika, Justin Mons, and finally, to round out your field, the number 25, playing shotgun, it's Michael Cormenis, who rounds out the starting grid for the Sun Valley 130 here in Phoenix Raceway. 130 laps. It's been a while since we've been here to Phoenix, but last time we went, it was an exciting race all throughout. Every driver facing their own battles, and we got some feedback here in the chat from Bryce Hamrick saying it's loosey-goosey tonight. Lots of drivers going to struggle with handling. That is a big deal. Of course, it's been a few months since we've gone to Phoenix in this league. iRacing physics updates, they are frequent and they can play a big role. It looks like the setup has been changed, and it's going to take a lot more out of these drivers to handle this circuit than it did before. 48 seconds still remain in practice. We got Beaver the Ham 27 in chat, Kenny Real as well. Great to have you all here. We're just getting this one started, and Joey Stone's actually taking a qualifying lap to reclassify himself. Number 8 machine's now on the way, and he takes it all the way up to 8th on its first lap. We've got a chance to see an underdog front row starter. He's making moves, and he's got the speed. Riding aboard with Joey Stone, this time coming down the backstretch, gets it loose, puts the power back down. He looks to be dead even with his lap before, maybe a bit quicker. Coming through the final corner, this time by to the Geico restart zone. All or nothing. Stone goes as hard as he can up to the top of the track, and the number 8 just barely slower than his last lap. 1,000th of a second the difference. Big time gain for Joey Stone to put himself up to 8th in the final second of qualifying. That's going to put him there in the top 10. Unprecedented gain at the last moment. Big move for Joey Stone. Andrew Cootie has no reason to worry. He's still your qualifying leader, of course, taking that pole position by a solid margin, the number 9 back on top. And with Andrew Cootie up in front and that number 9, interesting to note a statistic about our so far only winner from both Season 2 and Season 3. Andrew Cootie has never won a FORL Cup Series race after the second race of the season. He did not participate in Season 1. He only participated through half of Season 2, and even then was not able to get a win after the Circuit of the Americas. And now, 4 races into our championship, he's a winner already in the second race this season. this time around at Sonoma, but he has yet to break through that second race barrier. Interesting statistic to note, Max Molina, who was the winningest driver last season in Season 2, he has no such fear of that barrier. Winning the last race of the season to clinch his championship victory. He's done it before. He's a been there, done that type of guy. And tonight, he's going to prove that he can do it all over again. Chill music playlist in the chat room for Connor Zola. Great to have you here. Zola, number 27 machine, starting in 27 tonight. He'll be right there in the back of the frame for now in the Cincinnati number 27 machine alongside the Michael Cormetis machine. Brandon McNeil going to be right ahead of him. Looking up front, Andrew Cootie still there. The grid has yet to take off. And as we take a look at our grid camera, we have over 25 drivers already lined up. It looks like just under 30 will race. It's going to be Bryce Hamrick and Joaquin Stewart, your admins for tonight's event. Brody Tostaika, qualified in 30th, will be the final man on this grid when we get it rolling. And looking throughout the field, Phoenix Raceway won last season by Max Molina. However, Season 1, it was not won by Kyle Freeman. The race, every championship contender involved in a wreck. It was Braden Movick who got that victory. He's not a full-time competitor in this league, so there's another chance for a brand new winner if the 45 doesn't return to victory lane. The grid's on its way, and you can see every driver going by the Sun Valley 130 set to begin in 1 pace lap's time. Andrew Cootie, number 9 machine, up in front of the newly reconfigured Phoenix Raceway. Now, it is a different look from what it was even a decade ago because the pace car goes down very early, but these drivers still have to wait almost half the track before the race gets on its way. What is now the backstretch used to be the front stretch with a start-finish line about halfway through this segment. Nowadays, though, you come out of a corner and you come in to the start-finish line to either start the race or finish it. And tonight, it's unfinished business for Andrew Cootie, looking to become a season champion at the end of the year himself. And now, at the former site of the championship race, he wants to prove he's got what it takes to get it done. Prime time in the Sun Valley 130. Green flags out. Let's go racing from Phoenix. Big trouble midfield. We've got a yellow flag already, and it's huge. Joe Reinhardt goes around in front of the field, and just like that, we are in trouble already. Taking a look on back, Hunter Bogdan still spinning. Dustin Pickle still involved, and just like that, the race under yellow in its first lap. Joe Reinhardt already down pit road. The silver bullet machine taken a few dents already. Take a look back, and he ends up in the wall with the number 40 machine sideways. Vincent Guecci involved. Chance Parker destroyed in the front end. And then number 27 to Connor Zola barely gets out of it. Huge wreck already. Just like that, we're under caution. And that is a horrible way to get this race going. Big wreck. Dustin Pickles got damaged. Chance Parker, it looked like he lost the front end, but he's got it back on. Jordan Herring barely makes it out. I think Connor Zola might have gotten away damage-free. And we were looking at the onboard for Connor Zola. Let's show it on the broadcast right now, taking a 30-second replay back into the wreck. And it looks like, no, he got caught up in that one with Chance Parker, then put the power back down. Joe Reinhardt goes around first, hits about a third of the field, and now the green flag has been delayed even further. 1 lap of green flag racing, we've not yet got it done. 3 laps in, we've been under yellow for every one of which. Taking the feedback live, Rock Paprika 1690 FH5. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you here. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. We're only getting started. And I think you're a first-time chatter. If you are a first-time viewer, certainly a lot more excitement than that to be seen. So hold on. It's not going to be all like that all race long. I can tell you this much. Looks like 29 drivers take the start of the race. Going back to Xander Prestige, who's already 2 laps down. But Andrew Cootie has led every lap so far, and all he had to do was get the jump on that first lap to take the lead and keep it. The number 9 goes by your camera frame just like that. He knows he's got himself the front spot once again. 130 laps, 130 miles, and so far the number 9 machines led all 3, of which certainly not an indicator of what is to come when it comes to wrecks every lap, but it is maybe an indicator that this could be a bit troublesome for drivers in the back of the field. The front guys, look at the top 15 or so, were able to keep it together, but the back already seen trouble, and we have been given a word. This is a looser setup, loose cars. They can drive quick, but they don't drive easy. These drivers are going to have to think about that all night long. Phoenix Raceway, very subtle track in terms of all its nuance. It's not a lot of banking like a track like Daytona, Talladega, of course. It's not a long track, does not have a lot of mileage to it, but it's also not short. And you have to make sure you manage everything just right. The dog leg, it's open now. You can go all the way down where pit exit is to try to cut time. If you get caught on the transition, you're going to go around spinning, and you can wreck quite a few guys in the same time frame. It's troublesome. If you make a mistake at Phoenix, it will come back to bite you immediately. We've seen championship races decided here already. 2020, 2021, 22. Championship 4 drivers have made mistakes. The 9 machine, we're watching it right now. Driven by Andrew Cootie in this league, it's driven by Chase Elliott in the real world. Phoenix, last season, Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott make contact, and Elliott's day is done. He hits the infield wall as he goes through the dogleg. That ruins his title chances. Now tonight, Phoenix is not the championship race. However, it is definitely still a big one for all these drivers. A win means an awful lot in the points race here in the FORL Cup Series. And it looks like we've got a recommendation or a request from Clear All Around Podcast, number 63 machine, representing their brand. Here's a great look from Henry Kaloff. Nice to see some support for the Clear All Around Podcast. Love to have you guys in chat, and it's great to see your support of drivers in this league. Hope you enjoy this one, and I hope you enjoy this race. The 63's in 4th. He's doing good so far. First restart. Let's see if we can gain any more. Our leader of Andrew Cootie. Green flags out for the first time as a restart tonight in Phoenix, and Cootie gets the ball dropped real quick. He's on the way already. Andrew Cootie once again takes a big lead. We've got a big wreck again. Justin Mons and Brandon Rismiller go around, and it's getting worse. Back of the field, more troublesome, and it looks like no yellow flag is called. Another wreck. Brandon Rismiller's involved. No yellow flag will be called for the incident, and we're going to take an instant replay once again. Take a look at this. Brandon Rismiller in the middle of all this action. He gets caught up with another driver. Jay Becker and Vincent Guecci have already retired. Let's take a look back. 2 drivers spin at once there. That's synchronized spinning. We'll take a look at that too. And it looks like Rismiller sends it way too deep in the corner. Joey Stone makes contact with Justin Mons, gets Rismiller, then gets Jay Becker. That ends Jay Becker's night, and it looks like there was a second set of wrecks. I'll take a look back and check on that now. Kyle Freeman, part of that second pair. He spun at the same time as another driver. Let's find out which driver that was. Restart, we're showing it for the second time because there was a second wreck. 29 machine up high, your season 1 champion who won his title at Phoenix, not having the same luck. Guecci, contact with Freeman, and they spin as a huge wreck goes through. It's chaos here in Phoenix, and we're going to go back to the live feed. Freeman able to recollect himself as Thomas Johnson is now in trouble. He spins, no yellow flag, he'll stay on the loud pedal, and this has been hectic. Look at the big gap that Andrew Cootie has. It's over a second in only 9 laps. And it was a few wrecks in a row, and I think I'll have to reflect the same comments they all have made in chat. That's not at all what we want to see, but now there's a different group up ahead. Joey Stone, Henry Kaloff, who narrowly escaped that incident, are now in the top 5. Unbelievable for them to make it through, and it looks like the rest of the field simply cannot handle this setup here in Phoenix. Too loose for these drivers. It's all loosey-goosey, not a good thing for them at all, but the leader of Andrew Cootie, he loves what he's seeing right now. Nobody in his rear view mirror, and they are far ahead. The top 5 are on the rest of the field. But Andrew Cootie, in a league of his own, has them all behind him. Joey Stone's in trouble that time by. Locks it down, saves it. That could have been much worse for the number 8 machine. Joey Stone, he's going to try to avoid another incident happening. That might have been the difference between a yellow flag, or is it Redford's drifting? He saves it, leaves it up to the wall, and another driver in trouble. Brandon Redford, a phenomenal save, and that might have been truly the difference between a yellow flag or us staying green. Another caution avoided by another driver. 47 in the 8, nearly spinning at the same time, and there are drivers who are limping around the track. Hunter Bogdan down low. He's got no pace, nor does Brandon McNeil. They've already just about surrendered their chances at winning as they stay low and stay slow. Brandon McNeil staying much slower. He's got a lot of damage. Let's Bieber Serrano go by, and 12 laps in, it has not been a kind dozen to these drivers. Many of them are already in a big hole compared to the leader. Some guys already laps down on pace, some guys already retired, and now we only have 18 drivers on the lead lap out of 29 who registered for this race. Andrew Cootie, running a clinic so far, has himself the lead nevertheless. And Master Cookie saying so much wasted potential. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to go. These drivers do not have a lot of time to practice in at least a session, but most often they do get time outside of this league to hone in their skills at this track, so doesn't look like a lot of guys got the practice they needed with this setup. Certainly many drivers going around that we did not want to see involved in a wreck. The cream of the crop always rise to the top, though, and that's the reason Andrew Cootie leads from Jacob Wilkerson and Max Molina. Henry Kaloff, another underdog that we've been watching, and he's been fantastic so far this season. Involved in a wreck in Kansas, was not able to avoid it, plowing into James Thurston, but at Sonoma, solidly inside the top 5, qualified top 5 tonight, and he's racing like it as Jordan Herring and Wesley Kutznoff are diving down to the inside. That's another driver grouping that loses time, and big as Brandon Rismiller gets in the wall and Joe Reinhardt tries to avoid him. Every driver outside the top 10 is a wild card right now, and it looks like Kutznoff able to keep himself intact. Or is he? He's drifting down low, and another driver's involved in a self-inflicted incident. Luckily, another save. I can't tell you what's a wreck or what's not anymore. Number 02 gets caught up in the act, thankfully able to save it, and we stay green as a result. Andrew Cootie leads. Jacob Wilkerson is there in second, and it's going to be Max Molina in third. Gene Chad, thank you for stopping by. Great to have you here. I don't think any of us expected it to start like this. Maybe Andrew Cootie, because he's up in front by over a second and a half now. Number 9 machine, one of FORL's most consistent drivers. Whenever he races, he's always a threat to win, and he's already won a third of the races that have been completed this season, looking to make it 50-50. The 9 machine, Napa know-how, he's got it, and he leads them through the dogleg once again, and his teammate right behind him. Dustin Pickle, 2 laps down for CCH Motorsport, not having a good run, but he is able to pick off a few drivers who got involved with more severe wrecks, and while he is 2 laps down, he is ahead of almost 10 drivers, so he's making his time back up, just keeping himself on the track. However, certainly not the start he'd like to have to this race. His teammate having the exact opposite predicament. He's running a very good race, Andrew Cootie is. Jacob Wilkerson now trying to get behind and then in front of Lap Machine in one foul swoop. He does just that. He's now in second, and Henry Kaloff makes it by Max Molina for third. And Henry Kaloff having a fantastic run so far, only on the up and up after almost getting involved in that very early wreck. Number 63 dropped down outside the top 15, and on this run alone, he's made up over 10 spots to get back to the third position where he qualified in. Now chasing down Jacob Wilkerson ahead of him in second. It's been the rise of the rookies all year long. Jacob Wilkerson, your leading rookies, in second. Henry Kaloff is in third, and Joey Stone is in fifth, with Michael Cormetis, a new full-time competitor, in sixth, and James Bomar in seventh. Looking back, Jordan Herring's got a fan in chat, and we're going to take a look on Jordan Herring's machine. It looks like as it stands, still hanging in there indeed. That's what you got to do in a situation like this. So for Jordan Herring, who's in the 97 machine tonight, 25th, 5 laps down, still a chance to get back on the track, but not hanging in there all too well. 20 laps through, the leader will go by, and it's Andrew Cootie who has himself that gap of now almost 2 seconds. Henry Kaloff still managing the gap on Max Molina and Joey Stone. Closest battle as it stands on the racing circuit is between your drivers fighting for third. The rest of your field is spread out and spread out big. Simply seems like nobody can keep the cars double file tonight. Not able to make it happen as Jay Becker's in trouble backwards on the track. 21 laps in, Jay Becker is destroyed. No yellow flag has been called, and he's sitting there backwards on the racing circuit. Nothing is stopping this, and it looks like we're going to have to take an instant replay. No caution called. He's off the track. Caution will not be thrown for that. I don't know why. That's a big hazard on the circuit, and that's an especially dangerous position for Jay Becker to be in. Take a look at this. And Becker, 049, it looks like just dives it up in that 045 machine, my apologies. Takes it up there, he's done, destroys the front end, loses the bumper, loses the hood, race is over for him. Every driver dodging him, swerving out of the way. That's incredibly dangerous. Luckily, nobody else catches a piece of him, but that's going to make it that much harder for all those drivers out there. No yellow flag thrown for what just happened. Andrew Cootie able to build up more time. He just lapped Connor Zola, which only leaves us with a total of 14 drivers on the lead lap. Phoenix has been as tricky as it can get tonight in the FORL Cup Series, and it's evident no driver has anything to tame it bar our leading man, the number 9 machine. Andrew Cootie's been the best driver by a wide margin, and that number 9 continues. No stopping for him as the number 43 machine of Wilkerson is still chasing his back. And looking for a battle, it looks like James Bomer and Ross Corlett will give us one. Defending winner versus the driver, the 91 machine, and they're now fighting for the 7th spot as it stands. Corlett on that tail, looking to make a pass happen. Riding aboard with Ross Corlett as we speak. He's going to put the power down just a bit later than the number 20 ahead of him. And Bomar, working his way into 3 and 4, is now on the tail of Michael Cormenis. A 3-car battle is shaping up to be, and now James Bomar is smack dab in the middle of it. Michael Cormenis still has himself just outside the top 5, but he's got damage, and it's evident that's going to slow him down and slow him down big. He washes up the track once again, rookie stripes and all. He does not want to make a rookie mistake and cause a wreck. He knows his machinery might be a bit slower, but he definitely wants to hang in there as long as he can. So we'll stay in it up for a moment up in front. Maybe that moment will last a bit longer than we expect. Justin Mons slows down again. Number 49's got a front end problem. Thankfully, holding on better than we expected. Able to keep his car straight despite all the front end issues you can see there on that Chevy Camaro. It's been a hectic race so far, 26 laps in at a total of 130, and Andrew Cootie still has the lead of this race. He'll pile through the dogleg once again, lap Brody Tolsteika, and come up on a big group of lap machines. This is dangerous. This is the closest Cootie's been to any other traffic all night long, and he's going to have to maneuver through many guys in the same frame. Rismiller, Kyle Freeman, the first 2 drivers right ahead of him. From there on out, though, he's still got many more, notably drivers such as Joe Reinhardt, Wesley Kutznoff, and it looks like from there on out, guys, including the Kutznoff machine, were fighting side by side with Joseph Lewis. Now Cootie drops down low, nice and easy, makes it work quite well on Brandon Rismiller. Brandon lets him by just like that. Cootie gets the edge off, corner exit. Now he finds himself working on Season 1 champion Kyle Freeman. Freeman goes high. Andrew Cootie goes down low. No issue there. Now Reinhardt's the next man up. Joe Reinhardt causes the first yellow flag. Will let him go easily as Cootie takes the lower entry to the dog leg. He'll get by almost everyone there, but he's going to fade back on the exit of the dog leg. Make it by Joe Reinhardt naturally as Joe goes up to the wall. Joseph Lewis and Wesley Kutznoff, the next competitors, and Wesley's in trouble. 02 machine is in the wall again, keeps it going nice and straight, and we almost see another yellow flag in action. Another driver in trouble is Hunter Bogdan. Bogdan very slow on the track. He looks to be down on pit road now, and he's gonna be just under your leading man in Andrew Cootie. It has been all about your lap machine so far. Only 12 drivers remain on the lead lap, 30 laps in. It has been a bloodbath here in Phoenix, and it looks like right now the only driver who's immune is the man who now has a big cushion of lap machines right up ahead of him. It is Jacob Wilkerson the lap machines are ahead of, but right behind Andrew Cootie. Now the 43 has to work through the same group. Connor Zola lets them by easy. Brandon Rismiller, not so much. Now the 43 is in trouble, having to work by these lap machines, and he's not the leader. They will not be as nice to him, that is for sure. They've already been put 1 lap down. Why should they stop racing? That's the mindset people get into in a situation like this. And it looks like a near miss for Jacob Wilkerson as Rismiller is back in the wall once again. And Brandon Riesmiller going to be able to get out of the way of the 43 machine. Jacob Wilkerson gets back ahead of him. Max Molina now has to navigate the same traffic. It's all about the traffic navigation. Here in Phoenix, Max Molina knows that too, and he'll drop down to the inside line on Wesley Kutznoff to make another pass. Riesmiller up high. It looks like it's going to be 3 wide middle, and Connor Zola escapes the quickest. Max Molina still seeing pressure, and Henry Kaloff now fading further back. Kaloff going down to the 4th spot, was up in the podium there, slips back, lets the lap machines fight with Molina. That might be the end goal. Let the dirty work be done by someone else and eventually make your time back up and make it through to the front of the field without making your car a bit more damaged, a bit slower along the way. Andrew Cootie has not had to worry about any of it so far. 33 laps in, the number 9 machine has himself a lead that he has not relinquished. Still has them by a wide margin as he comes down to lap number 34. 2.5 second lead for your leading man. Closest battle on the racing circuit is Bomar and Corlett, and Ross Corlett drops down low, but Bomar's got to run up high. James Bomar sticks it up there on the Continental Tire machine. What does he have? Nothing so far, but it's clear that Ross Corlett is now being pressured. Bomar now tries to get a nose in on him, does not stick it deep. PBR machine right behind. It's a CCH machine leading this battle, and they're going to be side by side coming off a corner exit this time. Almost they were. Ross Corlett able to barely exit that scenario, but the number 91 has not been able to exit the grasp of James Bomar effectively until now. A huge miss for James Bomar off corner exit, and he's now lost a lot of time. Over 0.2 of a second. Ross Corlett able to check out and check out big. Fantastic defensive maneuver from Ross Corlett to be able to hold off on James Bomar. Thomas Johnson, who's in 9th right now, trying to get himself in the battle as Justin Lodge is in 10th. Michael Deitch is now in 12th with Brandon Redford right ahead of him. Beaver Serrano loose that time by, able to save it, and now Michael Deitch is 1 lap down. Only 11 drivers remain on your lead lap, 36 laps in. By all accounts, we are seeing a dominant run by Andrew Cootie, and the number 9 machine could be on pace to lap everyone outside of the top 5. Joey Stone is 7 seconds away from him, but only 36 laps in. Michael Cormetis is 12 seconds out. If we were to multiply the pace of Andrew Cootie over the first 37 laps compared to Michael Cormetis, he would be put a lap down at the minimum at the end of this race if we go green all the way. Chances are slim. We've already seen ourselves a yellow flag. We have not seen a second, so Cootie has a chance to go for a dominant run and take every driver out of contention in one foul swoop. 38 laps in, it's his race so far, but it is not over between Joseph Lewis and Max Molina. Molina drops down and in. He'll get by Joseph Lewis easily, and so does Henry Kaloff. Now it is Henry Kaloff into the 4th spot easily, firmly past the number 28. Joseph Lewis going to be just ahead of Joey Stone now. And Joey Stone, who was almost involved in that most recent major incident, there was no yellow called for it. He's been able to claw himself back up into the top 5. Now, looking for his first career top 5 finish at Phoenix Raceway, it could be the time for the number 8 machine to get it done for kick streaming. Now, the number 8 chasing the lap machines ahead of him. There's a chance to make some history here for all these drivers. Henry Kaloff looking for his first podium finish. He's on the back bumper of Max Molina once again. Maybe he's got a shot to take it. Big wiggle that time by from Kyle Freeman. Freeman saves it, no worry, but Max Molina has lost time and suddenly his gap has dissipated. Wesley Kutznoff loses time once more, and now Michael Cormetis drops down the inside to take a spot once again away from him. Andrew Cootie leads by 3 seconds. It has been a tremendous outing for the man in the number 9 machine so far. Simply nobody on his level. Jacob Wilkerson in 2nd is a whole camera shot away. And now Kaloff and Molina are right with each other, but they're still 5 seconds away from your race leader, not even in the same frame as they come by the start-finish line. Henry Kaloff chooses not to take that dog leg down low, and that seems to be a trend between all our leading drivers in the 9, the 43, the 45, and even the 63. They do not take the apron and the dog leg, but Wesley Kutznoff does. Another wreck for the 0-2, and he's in even more trouble. And we're going to try to find out what happened. He went all the way around. Not his night, it appears, and it's another hit for this 0-2 machine as he comes down to the start-finish line, chasing Michael Cormetis. currently inside the top 15, but another big hit, and that's going to jeopardize the position he has at the moment. Looks like he's going to undershoot the corner, spin it down the inside, and lock it all the way out of control. Now he's going to be in the 15th spot, one lap down, but nobody else able to take a spot from him just yet. Jay Becker, Jordan Herring, Brandon McNeil, Vincent Guecci, Xander Prestige are your retirees so far, and the Andrew Cootie machine is drilling by everyone ahead of him. Jacob Wilkerson's in second, still a fierce battle here for third, but the closest battle on the racing circuit is not found anywhere else. The front runners are running the best race, the most aggressive race, and now Henry Kalof's got a shot to go down to the inside. Looking on Kalof's on board. Now to Max Molina. It's going to be side by side, but it looks like the 63's got a shot. Does he take it? It looks like he's not able to, and off the quarter panel perspective, the 63 put back in his place. Fourth place at the moment. Now Max Molina seeing some pressure from another driver right behind the rear view. That's not Joey Stone, it's the lap machine of Joseph Lewis. They still might have to push a bit harder to avoid an incident. These lap machines have been wild cards. You don't want to get wrecked by them. And right now, the 45 taking no chances. He'll try to put on the jets and push right past his adversary in this race so far. The 63 has no use but to continue combating it and continue fighting as they now get by Michael Deitch. Deitch in 12th is now one lap down. That leaves us with 11 drivers left on your lead lap, final man of which is Brandon Redford in the number 47. Has not been his best night. The final four contender in Season 1 has not been able to replicate the success so far in Season 3. Although he had a very solid run in the playoffs last season, this season not off to the best start. So it's looking to be a positive race even if he gets put a lap down. Just outside the top 10, and there's smoke once again, and I'm not quite sure why. No driver was there on the front stretch as they get by, no issue. Andrew Cootie looking to make one. He's going to try to put these drivers ahead of him one lap down. Brandon Redford already has his sights set in the top 10, but Andrew Cootie has his sights set on the number 47. Dropping way down low, that's another lap machine, that's Beaver Serrano. Serrano comes back and impedes on Andrew Cootie's line, but Andrew Cootie gets by nonetheless, no issue. 47 laps in, no stress for this man, getting by the man who's now scored in 15th. Wesley Kutznoff now down on pit road. Looks like his night is going to be all but over here. Damage is substantial on the front end. His Toyota Camry is all but shot. We'll see whether or not he tries to come back out on the track. Looks like it is all for naught in terms of trying to get this victory. Not the best run for the 0-2 camp. They've had many drivers this season. Their best run coming at Sonoma, but ever since then, the ovals have been troublesome. Nothing more they've been able to do so far. This year has not been the best for them, but still a lot of time to turn it around, so hopefully they get it back on the upswing. Andrew Cootie looking to get another driver, put one lap down, and that would be Brandon Redford in that number 47, who now sees Ross Corlett get in trouble. Corlett is slow, and the yellow flag's out for Ross Corlett, and just like that, we are back under caution. Ross Corlett brings out your second yellow of the night, 49 laps in. Let's find out what just happened. And the instant replay out. Too many incidents after the first yellow, and that will bring out your second. The 91 looks to be the main cause of this one. Let's find out why. As he looks to go through turns 1 and 2, smoke begins right in front. He makes a big contact with Chance Parker, and the caution flag comes out as a result. 50 laps in, the yellow flag will fly once more, and Ross Corlett takes some front end damage, and it's a big hit as he is scored now in 8th, but that's because he has not gone down to pit road. Andrew Cootie, though, will lead the field down to pit road this time by the Sun Valley 130. Sees pit strategy coming to play for the first time tonight. Andrew Cootie leads Jacob Wilkerson and Max Molina on the way through. Joey Stone's not too far out of frame, neither is Michael Cormetis or Joseph Lewis. The number 9 takes them all down and in. Now we'll see who wins the race off pit road. This might be the only pit stop tonight, unless, of course, we become another series of caution fests in terms of the racing quality. It does not look like there's needing for much more besides this one stop. Cootie down and in this time by. We'll see if he wins the race off pit road. One driver already going to be on the way. That looks to be a lap machine, and that it will be. Hunter Bogdan's out. He's not winning the race off pit road. He's not on the lead lap. For Andrew Cootie, barely getting ahead of Jacob Wilkerson, then Max Molina, Henry Kaloff, and not too far behind Joey Stone as another driver peeks out from the sunset. That driver being the driver of the number 020, James Bomar. Looks like a very small pack to come out at once. Cormetis had damage. Putting your front runners down and in. Same situation with Ross Corlett, so very few come off of pit road immediately. It is still Andrew Cootie who leads the way, Jacob Wilkerson second, and Max Molina in third. Henry Kaloff is in fourth, and Joey Stone's in fifth, as it's now the James Bomar machine in position number 6. Beaver Serrano is in 7th. Rounding at your top 10, you'll see Zach Todgers has now scored in 8th. It's Thomas Johnson, who was scored in 7th for a moment. Now he is certified in 7th. He was up and down the order for just a moment. Now, it looks like the top 10 sees guys like Justin Mons just within its grasp. 52 laps in. 2 laps to go into the yellow flag will be all but done for, and we'll head back to the green flag at lap number 54. Lap machines still getting their laps back as it stands. Many drivers going through at full pace right now. Brandon Rismiller, one of which, so is Joseph Lewis, Wesley Kutznoff, Dustin Pickle. How's about the number 21 machine? Indeed, Beaver Serrano is now on pit road again. He'll get more service. Hunter Bogdan, 15 laps down, still putting a fight to it as he wants to get back in the race. Maybe if there's enough yellow flags, he'll have a chance to get back up in front. And a big change for all these drivers, of course, and we're asked to get us all on the same page with a first half recap. Now, great to have you in for 4D Motorsports CP3. That's going to mess me up. C3PQ, great to have you here. Now 53 laps in, you haven't missed all too much. Andrew Cootie dominant so far. Jay Becker out of this race, retiring many multiple car incidents and only 2 yellow flags. Drivers parked on the circuit. Jay Becker, one of which who ended up nosediving it into the wall and then getting on the circuit at a standstill with no front end. Big time driver hazards, a lot of these guys in trouble, and before the yellow flag, there were only a total of 11 drivers on the lead lap. It's been big for Andrew Cootie though. Every lap has been his so far, looking to sweep this race day. Maybe he's got a shot now in that number 9 machine, as he's had no competition at this moment. Maybe the only one is Andrew Cootie competition. It'll be Jacob Wilkerson, who's right there beside him. Green flag and a fall in this time by. It's going to be the second restart of the night with Andrew Cootie leading the way once again. We're back on the way here in Phoenix. 54 laps in, it's going to be Andrew Cootie taking that lead once more. Multiple cars, multiple rows deep. Thomas Johnson now going to be taken to the inside of Henry Kaloff. Now the 48 machine with a new set of rubber, as the majority of the field has a new set of rubber. They're all racing aggressive, and it's going to show. James Bomar drifting, and he saves it, locks it down, and locks it in. That could have been so much worse, but he's going to fade back to 14th, taking the follow for the team there, as Bomar now going to drop back with his team owner in Zach Todger. Fantastic save for the man at the number 020 machine. Another drift right behind, and that is going to be Hunter Bogdan. Bogdan drifting the back of the field, catching up to Hunter, and now the race is back on its way. Cootie's got himself a 50,000 second of a lead. It's not big, and it's not going to last for long. Jacob Wilkerson just barely loses that lap lead. Cootie still had it, but he doesn't have it by all too much. He drops down to the inside line, gets clear once again. Now Max Molina is going to be side by side with Jacob Wilkerson. Double file for the second spot as they run down the front stretch all over again. The former front stretch, that is. And they will make it in to another lap. That's the closest any driver's been to taking the lead from Andrew Cootie. It just didn't work that time by. Close, but no cigar for the number 43. And now Jacob Wilkerson going to be fading back into third. Max Molina going to be in second to the number 45. It's going to be Andrew Cootie in first. it is once again in the hands of the number 9. Joey Stone's in 4th and Henry Kaloff is in 5th with Michael Cormenis in 6th. Looks like most of the damage has been repaired and Thomas Johnson is in 7th. Alex Jones, great to have you here tonight. And looks like one of your drivers doing real well, so stick around. Not long until the checkered flag falls, but at the same time, with so much that can happen in just a few laps time, you don't want to miss it. I'm sure about that one. Andrew Cootie knows he does not want to miss any apex, make any mistake, because now he's being hounded by our defending champion, Max Molina, the 45, looking to go back-to-back, winning at Phoenix, and he's got a shot to do it all over again. Up high, Molina goes, does not take it. Andrew Cootie stays where he is, and it looks like he will not move unless forced. Molina goes high, does not put the bumper to him, and he will wait patiently for the next opportunity to get right by your race leader. Not gonna mess around, not gonna wreck his equipment, and thankfully we don't see reckless racing like that. But Thomas Johnson involved in a wreck, another multi-car incident between himself and Justin Mons. Mons, the number 49, Thomas Johnson, the 48, and it looks like he's gonna have to park it there. He's done for the night, it looks like. Thomas Johnson pulls it into pit road, 60 laps in, and there's trouble for the number 48 machine. Let's take a look at what just happened. And looking at Thomas Johnson here in that number 48, he's racing with Michael Cormenis as they come through turns 1 and 2. Johnson just loses control, overcorrects in the wall, takes Justin Mons with him, and he loses all control of the car in its entirety, and he's just going to lock it up in the wall and call it a day. Now, off the circuit, he's on pit road. That might be the night for the number 48 as he lie there, and now it's going to be one driver sending it way down deep. Max Molina takes the lead, and he's going to try to lead the first lap led by anyone besides Cootie all night long. Coming out of corner number 4, this time by, it looks like Max Molina's got a shot to take it, and that he does. Molina leads lap 61 and brings us to lap 62 as your race leader. How about that one? Max Molina is leading. How about we take a look on board with your new race leader? And working down the backstretch as your new race leader, Max Molina sees Andrew Cootie bobble, and bobble big. Cootie's in the wall. We've got trouble with the number 9. Yellow flag will fall immediately. And Andrew Cootie, dominance, it's going to fall apart, and maybe there will not be an end to the second racer later curse for the number 9. Take a look back, FTN instant replay, it's Andrew Cootie who bobbles, and it looks like a miscalculation inside the cockpit. Taking a slow-mo view of this one, and the number 9 chasing Max Molina down. He's going to overcorrect it into turn 4, and once he loses it, there's no way to turn that one back. He tries to shift it to the right, get it back under control, but he's only going to end up in the wall much quicker as a result of that overcorrection. He's going to tag Joey Stone, but otherwise no other driver involved, and Andrew Cootie loses a quality run halfway through. Heartbreaker for the number 9, and just like that, Max Molina might be the new race favorite. 64 laps in, he will stay up in front of the field without going down to pit road. So different drivers calling different shots, and just as soon as he loses the lead, he loses a chance to race. Andrew Cootie's night is done, and now this race is all wide open. Unbelievable turn of events for the driver of the number 9 machine. Had dominance so far into the run. He loses it, and 65 laps in, next time by is the halfway marker. It's all but over in one foul swoop. Justin Pickle will go by to collect his laps. Looks like now new retirees, including Wesley Kutznoff, Thomas Johnson, Andrew Cootie, not one of which just yet. He's down on pit road in 17th. We'll see whether or not he continues to keep on driving, but we have lost now all the way up to our 16th place driver. Rest of these guys are at least one lap down. 15 drivers on the lead lap out of a total of 29 that entered and registered. It has been tricky. Almost half of the field has been put at least one lap down. Phoenix Raceway definitely drives different, and the only driver who seems to be flexible and adapting well, it is Max Molina. Defending Phoenix winner, defending champion, and now he is your race leader once again, looking to pick back off where he started last season and finished last season in Phoenix, up in front. Now, another chance at a win is right in front of him. 65 laps to go. The halfway point has been passed, and now only 65 laps remain for your new guys up in front. Max Molina, Jacob Wilkerson, Joey Stone, and Henry Kaloff. Your fourth man is number 63. Rookies occupy the second, third, fourth, and fifth spots. The rookie stripes on the back bumpers will let you know these are drivers with their first full season races, or of course full seasons of races under their belt. AutoCAD coming in, rooting in for Max Molina, and Molina right now the fan favorite at the moment. Show your love for your favorite driver in the FTN chat room if you got one. Unlimited access to all FTN chat rooms every race we broadcast and you subscribe to our channel. Over 1,000 subscribers and growing, and just including these last few weeks, we have now expanded to a membership program. Prices as low as $2.99 for up-to-date insider access to the FTN YouTube channel and bonus perks. If you'd like to check that out, be sure to click the join button on your screens just next to the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. We'd love to have you subscribe. If you can join, we'd love to have you do that as well. All your support is greatly appreciated night after night. We could never do it without every one of you. Now for Max Molina, he could not do this without every one of the drivers being behind him. And coming back to green with 63 laps to go, I'm sure he wants to keep it that way. Molina now has himself a big group in front of him, of course, in lap machines if they get to him, and a big group behind. Michael Cormenis blinks out big, and it looks like he's going to be able to keep himself straight. Now, Greg Kaloff, Michael Cormenis fans in chat as well. Clear All Around podcast, rooting for Greg Kaloff, and some support from Molina, Kaloff, and Cormenis, all the same. Nevertheless, third restart after our third caution, going to be here and now with a new race leader, defending champion Max Molina's on his way. And now Max Molina has himself an edge in a number 45 machine, and it's not quite a big one just yet, but it does have something to build off. Jacob Wilkerson going to be there in second, Michael Cormenis is in third, and Joey Stone remains in fourth. Position number 5 is Brandon Redford there, and it looks like the number 47 has turned around his night and big. Very early in the race, we were talking about trouble for him not being inside the lead lap, and now it looks like he's going to be able to keep up with the guys in the top 5 and even try to make a pass. 47 down low on Joey Stone. He tries to put the quarter panel to him, but it does not stick. That's the closest he gets to the top 4 all night long, but 69 laps in, it's only been a nice run for Max Molina, as he's the only guy who's been able to dethrone Andrew Cootie. Well, Wilkerson, he might have gotten close, did not make it stick all throughout. Max Molina, 61 laps to go, leads the way. The 43 is going to be there in second, and it's Michael Cormenis there in third. Stone's got himself the edge over Brandon Redford and Henry Kaloff. They're side by side, and now the number 47 is on the high side, losing time and perhaps losing pace. It's now becoming a big bubble in the middle of the field. Drivers catching up to it, and quickly, as Michael Deitch ends up in the wall here. Looks like he's in a lot more trouble than we'd anticipate as the 57 fades back into 14th. Michael Deitch was up inside the top dozen when Andrew Cootie was the race leader, has now fallen back a few more spots, losing it off of, it looked to be turn 4, and now fading almost outside the top 15. It looks like he's got a chance to keep it going and recoup his losses, in fact, and now with him racing again, maybe he can build a few spots back up, but as it stands, it would be slim pickings up in front for him as the rest of the field has spread out and spread out big. Top 5 drivers separated by a second and a half right now. Your leading 2 are separated by half a second, and Michael Cormenis is 1 second back on your leading man. 59 laps to go in the Sun Valley 130, and they're side by side again. They are Joey Stone and Brandon Redford, as Zach Todriff's in trouble. He'll be able to save it, but he loses 2 seconds on this lap compared to his average pace. Bad news for him right there. Joey Stone going to be now working on Brandon Redford, and Brandon gets right by him. Looked to be Redford falling back on the order, but he makes it by not 1 but 2 drivers and gets into the top 4, and he has fought as hard as he possibly could to get that one done. Now Joey Stone fades back as Dustin Pickle spins ahead of your leading drivers. Dustin Pickle in big trouble, 58 laps to go, no yellow flag called. He'll get himself back on a roll. Single car incident, we stay green. Let's take a look at how this one came to be, as the number 21 out in no man's land seems to have gone around on his own. Dustin Pickle, a hard night already. Multiple incidents he's been involved in, and this is the newest of which. And 74 laps into this race, he just loses it off a corner exit, tries to correct it slowly, and then makes a rapid flick of the wheel, and that takes him out for the count. He'll be now 1 lap down in 17th, and fading far out of contention, that number 21 is. He's back racing though. Max Molina got by him easily, and the rest of the field did too, so nobody going to have a reason to throw the yellow flag. And the closest battle on the racing circuit as it stands looks to be the driver of the number 49 machine for a moment, but now it's going to be with James Bomar and Henry Kaloff. Kaloff now going to be on the high side. It's going to be James Bomar going right down low. Bomar's got a shot to take it. He will try to go for it this time through and take the dog leg to finish off the job. Has he got enough momentum to do so? It looks like he does not, but he's still side by side. Nevertheless, Joey Stone now going to be up into 4th once again. This is the perfect distraction for a driver like Joey Stone to work with, as his contemporaries have now got caught in another sort of confrontation. The argumentative behavior of these drivers, and of course being so aggressive all the time, leads for guys who are a bit calmer like Joey Stone to sort of make their own and get by these issues without much notice. Nice move for the 8 and a nice move for Henry Kaloff to get ahead of Bomar. The inside line has not been as affected as we would expect effective. That is, it has certainly been affected. Every groove seems to be working depending on how you drive it. The low line's been used, the high line's been used, anything in between. Now the 63 gets put up to the high side once again as Zach Todriff is in trouble once more, but he is able to save it once again. It looks like as soon as he loses time, he's able to get himself back together. Michael Hormenis, despite his damage, is in 3rd. The closest battle on the racing circuit now is not the battle inside the top 5. Instead, it's going to be all the way back in 10th. How about that? Beaver Serrano now going to be inside of that number 66 machine in the top 10. And Alex Jones, we've gotten feedback about the setup this week. Phoenix drives much different now thanks to the most recent iRacing update. It is loose, and I don't think it is unfair to say it is like ice out there. It's definitely been troublesome. We've seen many drivers go around simply not able to handle it all too well, and it looks like more than half of the field has been affected. 16 drivers on the lead lap, going back to Ross Corlett. Out of the 29 drivers who started the race and out of the 30 that registered, that is very, very bad news. The setup has simply not been the way these guys have liked it, except for Molina, who now has almost a 1-second gap on the rest of his field. Connor Zola going down to pit road this time by. Zola might be done and done tonight. Not sure if that's going to be the case. Looks like it's not. He'll pull right back up on the track and get himself back going. That's been the big thing for drivers to get lost through turns 1 and 2. They'll take it down to the apron, and it's going to happen again. Zola's lost. Does he save it? No. He'll overcorrect it, thankfully, and not anyone else. Connor Zola, after losing it in 1 and 2, loses it in turns 3 and 4, backs it up to the wall, and no yellow flag will be called. He will reset his car and take it down to pit road, and as soon as we caught him, he was out of the apron in turns 1 and 2. He was out of control then, and it looks to have gotten worse as he goes through 3 and 4. Take a look at this once again. And for Connor Zola, bad news as he comes through. He's going to lose it there. Thankfully, he doesn't overcorrect into another driver. It's a slow, but absolutely heartbreaking one for him to lose all that in just 1 moment. And now he's going to be 10 laps down, fading even further back compared to where he was beforehand. Taking it back to live feed, it is now Connor Zola on pit road with guys in the back of the field such as Andrew Cootie. Max Molina gets by yet another driver, that being Hunter Bogdan. Bogdan drives back down low. He will not let these lap machines, of course, get in his way, but he'll let the leaders go right by him. Max Molina building up a big advantage on the rest of the field, and he's continued to build as the race has gone on. With 48 laps to go, he's looking better and better time after time, and for Jacob Wilkerson, he knows that the time-tested number 45 machine is going to need something real special to knock him off the leading spot. It has been the number 45's race ever since he took the lead at lap number 61, and since then, nobody else is able to get around him or get by him. It's shades of how Andrew Cootie drove early on in the going. Cootie has retired. He will be finishing at best in the 19th position. With that being in mind, Molina gets loose that time by. That could have been much worse. Thankfully for him, able to save it and able to save it well. How about that one? The number 27 machine, Connor Zola, we saw go around. The number 45, your leader, just got close to going. Thankfully, able to save it and keep the race under green. Leaders have not been battling all too much, but now the fight is just for the top 10 spots. Zach Todriff going down low on Beaver Serrano, looking to get that 10th position. He's got himself a shot to go right through, and now he'll take himself to the lead of that 10th place battle. 3 drivers, but now the 54's got the edge, and he's going to get loose immediately thereafter. Beaver Serrano now going to get a runoff corner exit and get right by the Todd. It's now going to be the 66 side by side with that number 54. 45 laps to go. Time's running out for this battle too, and it looks like Wesley Kuznov is now in it as well. Despite the damage, he's running much better than the first half of the race, trying to make a recovery and a redemption of sorts as he works right behind 2 hard-charging Toyotas. He's a Toyota of his own, and Todriff's in trouble. Zach Todriff down to the apron, able to get it out of harm's way, but now the 54 is outside the top 10 battle and big. He fades back to 15th, and he's down on pit road. He needs a new set of Goodyear rubber. And once again, a driver involved, and Wesley Kuznov is going to go around 2. Now another driver in the top 10 battle goes spinning, and he will go down to the dogleg to save it himself. This is unprecedented. Another driver goes sliding off the circuit, and it's just within the span of 30 seconds. 2 drivers, same battle, go spinning, and now it's going to be Wesley inside the 13th spot, being hounded for 14th by Michael Deitch. This is bad news for these drivers outside the top 10. It's been hard as ever to handle these machines, and it simply seems to get that much harder lap after lap. Joey Stone is in 4th, only about a second away from the top 3 right now, looking for his first career podium finish. He might be able to get that one done, but he's going to have to work past a driver like the number 25 machine, Michael Cormetis, looking to get his 3rd consecutive podium finish in a row. He has been remarkably consistent all season, and now looking to take that consistency to the next level. 3rd place at Sonoma, 3rd place at Kansas, 3rd place he's currently running in here in Phoenix, trying to make it a pair of triple threes. In a field of over 30 drivers at the very minimum, it's incredibly hard to get top 10s and top 5s consistently, but 3 podium finishes in succession would lead all 4 drivers at the moment, and it looks like the number 25 has been able to do it even despite the damage he has, as Joey Stone gets a bit loose that time by, saves it, he's in 5th, but now he's going to be right behind the number 63. Henry Kaloff makes it by, now it's going to be the 63 in 4th, and Brandon Redford's in trouble, and big 47 spins, gets it back going, another driver goes around, let's find out just why. And Brandon Redford going to be another of these guys in the top 10 to go around. Looks like trouble is not avoiding anyone based on position. Doesn't matter where you are, you can be caught up in it. So Redford goes around this time by. Looks like it was another one for Ross Corlett immediately thereafter. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But the 47 spins it off of exit of turn 2, locks it down nice and easy, almost loses it again, locks it down for a second time. Nice move to keep the race under green, but it's going to lose him some time. He'll fall down into the 8th position. Ross Corlett goes sliding, and about the same time he drifts it in front of your leading drivers, barely gets around him. That could have been much, much worse. Corlett now going to be fading back to 15th, 1 lap down. That is a tremendous save for Brandon Redford, and it looks like Redford's in the wall again. This is not a replay, this is live. Brandon Redford goes around for the 2nd time in 2 laps, and the caution comes out as he gets hit once again. My oh my, this race has been nothing short of a battle to just handle the car around the track. And another incident for Brandon Redford. Let's take an instant replay once more. His second spin in what looked to be about 2 laps as the 47 goes into turns 1 and 2. He's gonna go all the way up high, loses it there, gets in the wall, and goes in reverse. He's blocking most of the track. Safety yellow. At that point, there's nothing more that you can do besides culling it and putting it under caution. Brandon Rismiller hits him, takes him around, and that's another yellow flag with the number 47 involved. Brandon Redford, 1 lap down now. He's in big trouble after this one. Another incident involving that Chevy Camaro as he's now drifting, and that might be his night. He takes it down the apron, and it looks like he's not happy at all. We'll see whether or not he's able to keep the car going. I'm not sure if it's his intention to, as he seems to be all out of sorts. Up to the wall he goes, driving real unstable here. Maybe he's going to park it this time by. And it has been hard for every driver to keep control of their equipment. And now Redford's just drifting around the track. It's a nice drift to lock it down. Does he hit Dustin Pickle? No. He gets close to hitting Chance Parker. Luckily that he does not. Thomas J. and Chad, it's been painful for a lot of these drivers, maybe for your favorite driver. And it looks like right now the number 47, one of the many who have been involved in at least an incident or two, he's now going to be rolling up the track with another drift. We'll see how long he's allowed to do this. He's certainly making a mess out there, skidding up the track. I don't think he cares at all about the race at this point. He's just going around with reckless abandon, spinning back and forth, just trying to get things going for excitement's sake. Kyle Freeman down at pit road to score as your leader. Not for long. Now Jacob Wilkerson is, with Michael Cormenis second, Henry Kaloff third, James Bomar fourth, and Max Molina in fifth. 36 laps to go. We've got a new race leader. It's the number 43, and pit road going to treat Jacob Wilkerson very well. His pit speed time of 47.3 seconds on pit lane is 5 seconds faster than a driver such as Joseph Lewis, but it is still over 3 seconds faster than Max Molina. Molina ran a 50.4 time in pit row, and he was on his pit box for the same amount of time, 14.6 seconds. So he was slower on pit entry and exit, meaning Wilkerson able to take the lead of the race despite having the same pit speed, or rather the same pit stop speed as your leader. Jacob Wilkerson, 35 laps remaining, is your race leader. Not too far behind, Michael Cormetis. Then we got Henry Kaloff there in second, and it looks to be James Bomar in fourth. We're getting word that Jay Becker is looking to go back out on the track, 72 laps down, and he is back there in his Ford Mustang, so it looks like he's not done. Looking to pick off a few other positions. It looks like, doing the math at the very least, he's able to get back up to 22nd if he rides out the rest of the race. Every point matters for this number 045 operation. A substitute once again for Alex Jones, and Jay Becker now looking to gain a few more spots and put himself in a better position and put his team in a better position once Alex Jones is able to get back inside this Ford Mustang. 97 laps in, 34 laps to go, and we come down to our fourth restart of the day. Lap 98, we go green once again. It has been all about keeping the car on the track. Speed has not won this race. Consistency has. The most dominant man of this race, who led half of it, Andrew Cootie, he wrecked, chasing down the new race leader. Well, that new race leader is no longer up in front. We got another man to take his place. Jacob Wilkerson, the rookie who won Daytona, is now looking to win his second race of the season. He's not too far away from it already. He's just got to hold on for 34 laps remaining. Does he have it in the tank this time around, or will he fade back to your defending champion? Let's find out tonight here in Phoenix as the green flag falls for restart number 4. Jacob Wilkerson has the edge over Max Molina and Michael Cormenis. Joey Stone not too far back. Stone's going for a podium finish here, right on the quarter panel of Michael Cormenis. Now a battle for the top three. Three drivers in this mix who are very close at number 25 machine. One's a defending winner. One is looking for a first-time podium, and it looks like another looking for a first-time top five. Henry Kaloff right there with the Joey Stone machine, and now he'll go up high. Another driver puts on a smoke show. We stay green, no major incident. Nevertheless, Joey Stone is now holding on tough just to stay in front of Beaumont and in front of Henry Kaloff. Looking good so far. These guys up front are as Jacob Wilkerson takes it down with now only 31 laps remaining. The leader has a clear advantage. That clean air has been absolutely huge in determining who gets up in front. James Beaumont, great save, doesn't lose a lot of time. He'll stay up in the top 6 at the moment. It's Jacob Wilkerson who now is going to take him down to the triple-digit marker. Lap 100. This has been a race of spectacle all throughout. And he's saying need Jordan Herring to catch up. Well, I'll tell you this much, as it stands, Herring 86 lap down, damage is substantial. Not quite sure if he'll get back on the racing circuit. But as it stands, it looks like the number 43 machine of Wilkerson does not have to worry about anything besides keeping his car on the circuit. He's got that lead right now. Max Molina not too far behind and finds himself there in the 45 machine in second. Michael Cormenis is going to be in third, and Henry Kaloff is still in fourth. Your top 5 drivers are now a second and a half apart. Outside of that, your 6th man is James Beaumont, and how about this? Season 1 champion Kyle Freeman putting on his best run in over a season. Is running in the 7th spot right now, looking very good in that number 29 machine. One of the youngest drivers in this league, I believe this season, turning 13 years of age, and now he's battling for a top 10 against one of the strongest fields in FORL's history. This is a big accomplishment for Kyle Freeman, I'll tell you that much. One of the biggest races for him. Kenny Rill asking what happened to Andrew Cootie, lap number 61. He got passed by Max Molina. Lap number 65, he was out of the race. He tried to chase down Molina. He overcorrected and ended up in the wall by the start-finish line. Damage too substantial, he could simply not keep on racing. Now Freeman going to try to defend on Joseph Lewis here, who'll stay right in front. Undecided Racing in chat saying steering was off by 45 degrees after his big incident. Simply looks like there was nothing in that machine after the wreck that caused the most recent yellow flag. Joseph Lewis, big time contact, multiple cars go around. Joseph Lewis, Wesley Kutznoff, yellow flag number 5 comes out with 27 laps to go. And that was unprecedented. 2 drivers falling down at the same time. Brandon Redford's wreck was only 10 laps to go, but lap 104, we see another with a 0-2 and the driver of the number 28. Take a look at this one. It is involving, of course, the 0-2 down the dog leg, and it looks like Joseph Lewis went right down in on him. Did not know that Wesley was there, and these two wreck each other, and just like that, they bring out yet another yellow flag. Multiple drivers involved, and it looks like it's not substantial damage, but it is still going to bring out a caution all the same. Wilkerson leads this one. Max Molina now is close in second, and the Sun Valley 130 gets the playing field leveled once again. The STP number 43 looking to get it done here in Phoenix Raceway, and so far time running out big for this man in the number 43 machine, but he has that lead, and that is what matters. As it stands, we have not seen more than one green flag pass for lead all throughout the night. The only one we saw was Max Molina on Andrew Cootie at lap number 61. Wilkerson was close, admittedly he was, but he was not able to finish that move. He was only able to get the lead after pit road played in his favor. So now we're looking to see whether or not someone can break through once again and give us a new race leader under green. Molina, the only man to do it so far, is right there in second, waiting in the wings, and it looks like Michael Cormenis and Henry Kaloff are as well. These two drivers not too far behind your leaders. Joey Stone in the number 8 machine. I know he's a big fan favorite on this channel. He's streaming his perspective on Kick. He's also looking to pull together his first top 5 and his first podium. Maybe they can come at once. All throughout the field, we've got stories. Kyle Freeman looking for his first top 10 this season, your season 1 champion, looking to bring it back up front at the site of his biggest racing triumph. Joseph Lewis, despite the wreck, in the top 10. Michael Deitch now back in the single digits. Justin Mons and Beaver Serrano looking for career best finishes. And James Bomar has an outside chance to go all the way for a second consecutive win. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. We will see if these drivers can pull it together for the final 24 laps, as we are set to go green with 22 laps to go. As it stands, only a total of 19 drivers look to be scored on the track right now, only 15 of which are on the lead lap, so about half your field is still remaining on the lead lap compared to those who registered for tonight's event. So definitely a stark contrast from the way this race started in terms of how many drivers we had. It's a small field remaining as the sun begins to set in Phoenix Raceway. Things are going to get crazy if we go any longer into the night. We might see an overtime finish the way things have gone. I'll tell you this much, it wouldn't be out of the cards. They'll come around for yet another time through on a pace lap. Jacob Wilkerson goes down low. He'll start on the inside line. So will Michael Cormetis, and so will Joey Stone. So it'll be Max Molina and Henry Kaloff and James Bomar, first 3 rows on the outside lines as well. Very few drivers remain in contention. If you made it this far, you're in for at least a top 15, if not a top 10. With 23 laps to go, next lap will bring us down to 22 laps to go, and as we know on FTN, our amazing camera partners at TrackCams22.com, TrackCams for Gourmets, bring us all the action. So how's about we crank it up here on FTN and give you the sights and the sounds uninterrupted of Phoenix Raceway in action. Restart number 5 on the night here in Phoenix, and we're going to crank it up courtesy of the best cameras on the iRacing platform, TrackCams for Gourmets. Cranking it up with 22 to go, brought to you by TrackCams22.com. 5th restart's underway. And with 21 laps to go, the crank it up comes to an end. Another yellow flag will send us to caution number 6. The drivers loop around, and it looks like this time it was Beaver Serrano who looped around to cause that caution. Take a look on back and find out just what happened. It looks like we're going to be sending this one into a very small sprint to the finish as the number 66 went around to cause that caution. Looking back, he gets tagged. It looks like Joey Stone tags James Bomar. Bomar saves it fantastically, and then the number 20 comes right back up, hits Justin Mons. Mons hits Beaver. That will bring out the caution just like that. Multiple incidents all at once, and now we're back under yellow with 20 laps to go. The caution will come back very soon, and just like that, we are now waiting to see how this one will end. The driver of the number 43 machine, Jacob Wilkerson, put back in a purgatory of sorts. The yellow flag, while he is able to maintain the lead for more laps, he does not know how much he's got in the tank in terms of his race pace. Maybe he's running out of steam and he won't know it because he's stuck in this yellow flag, and when he comes back green, he'll be slower and he'll eventually be at a disadvantage because now he's bunched up with his competitors once again. Max Molina still right there with them. Michael Cormetis still right there with them. And even then, we've got guys like Joey Stone who are outside chances. Maybe they have something as well. It all depends at the end of the day. It could come down to any one of these drivers. Right now, it looks like the 43 is still the favorite. Lap machines going around to get their laps back once again. No worries for them. They'll just keep on going. And it looks like right now for them, the only thing they can do is try to get around the situation at hand, get those laps back under caution. Many drivers are over 10 laps down as it stands. So these yellow flags are blessings in disguise. For some drivers, they needed it much more than others. But still, it gives a chance to level the playing field for the back of this group. Right now, Zach Todger, 1 lap down. But from there on out, Brandon Rismiller is 14 down, Hunter Bogdan is 15 down, Brandon Redford 18 down, and Chance Parker is 20 laps down. They're all still on the track as it stands. It's just a big deficit, and while they still want to race, they're absolutely not in the best position to compete for the race win at the end of the night. Jacob Wilkerson still has himself a race lead, running very well so far, but it still is not done just yet. He's got 18 more laps at the very minimum to close this one out, seal the deal, and come home with a race win. All up to him. Whether or not he's able to get it done, we will see. Coming through, once again, Wilkerson will lead them down as they make it double file all over. Right now, it appears that it's going to be 45 machine up high, Michael Cormenis right there down low, and Henry Kaloff will be the second row on the high side. G rooting for the 97 of Jordan Herring. If you got a favorite driver to shout out, be sure to let us know in the chat room below. If you got a favorite driver, they'd love to look back at the stream and see your messages. Just subscribe to the FTN YouTube channel for unlimited chat access. We'd love to see what you have to say. Every one of these drivers fighting as hard as they can to get this win. Now, they'll have to prove what they've got under the hood. Coming around this time by, we're going to lock it in, lock it down, and go for a 15-lap dash. Restart number 6, led by Wilkerson, is going to bring us back to the green here in Avondale, Arizona. And Max Molina is in huge trouble. The number 45 machine, it looks like fades back in our timing and scoring systems, and the yellow flag will fall. Here's an instant replay to show you what just happened. Max Molina running in the second spot as it stands, and it looks like Michael Cormenis goes around first. That's the first incident, but the number 45 has an issue in his own right. Take a look. He'll go right up high on Jacob Wilkerson, chasing down the lead. He's high. He's going to put the power back down, try to get it by him, and it looks like it does not work just yet. Take a look at this one. We're still a few seconds away from our big wreck, and he just goes right up top. That's a huge hit, and the yellow flag will fall, and that's why Max Molina, a blistering rip, will bring us back for yellow flag number 7. 15th place, down and out. It's a leader's curse tonight. Cormenis spins out. Molina destroys the car. He's done. Now your top 3 is looking interesting. Jacob Wilkerson, Joey Stone, Wesley Kutznoff. How about this race, folks? This has been unbelievable. And now, what seemed to be an open and shut case has been open wider and wider twice over. Jay Becker still got a fan of the chat. Let's get him a win from 70 laps down. The way things are going, maybe he'll have a chance to get back on the lead lap. He's making more time up, more and more, lap after lap. Not happy, Ottercat is, as that's a brutal hit. And I'll tell you this much, any driver would be absolutely upset with that one. Your defending race winner at Phoenix goes out for the count after what looked to be a fantastic night. He will be done. Certainly not a lot to take from that point onward. Jacob Wilkerson, the number 43, now finds himself leading with less and less competition. But now that might mean that a guy like Joey Stone can step up to the plate and go for a win. Michael Cormenis does not have much damage. He did have damage to begin with, but does find himself only in the 12th position. 14 drivers are still racing on the lead lap. Very small amount of guys still left in this one. And this very small group will take us down to the checkered flag. If not, it'll get that much smaller. Wilkerson taking us through. We look to be set to go green at about lap 120. Now, we're going to have ourselves a choose rule next time by. So lap 120, the end of 120, will go back green, and we will only have a 10-lap dash to decide the winner of this race. Zach Todriff gets back out on the circuit. He'll try to put himself back in the lead lap, and that he does. So now the 54 for Paintbrush 54 is back on the way. Broadcasting his perspective on Twitch, and the purple and white number 54 finds himself as the final man on the lead lap. For every contender so far tonight, the big thing has been if you lead, you are all but doomed to wreck out of this race. Jacob Wilkerson so far has been the only exception to this clause, still leads the way and has not seen anything wrong go his, of course, way in a negative sense. Wilkerson still has that advantage over the rest of the field. Joey Stone has now made his way up into the top 3 for the first time this season. He's looking good for a podium finish. This is unforeseen territory for the number 8 machine. Maybe it's enough to make a change for the rest of the season. He's already a top contender this year, but this could take him to the next level. An outside chance at the win, a fair shot at a podium, and almost a surefire bet for a top 5. The number 8 machine pushing to new heights as another rookie. Rookies are first, second, and third here in the running order. And it's now going to be all about these guys as they come through the start-finish line once again. And lap dash, we've only got ourselves just over 10 drivers left. Take your pick, choose your favorite, and see who makes it home to the checkered flag in one piece. Brandon Rismiller almost wrecks under yellow there. Thankfully keeps it in one piece. The pace car's off. Restart number 7 gives us 10 laps to go, the last of the double digits, and we will say hello to the sprint to finish off this race. Green flags out once again, led once more by the STP 43. A big lead for Jacob Wilkerson. He had that advantage, and Joey Stone comes back and gets right with him. Now the 8 machine is the closest he's been to race victory territory in his entire career. But take a look down low. Season 1 champion Kyle Freeman is now in 3rd. This is the best he's looked in over a season's worth of races. Now he's in the podium. I can't believe what we're seeing. Kyle Freeman is in 3rd. 9 laps to go. He's got himself up in the podium. Joey Stone is going to be there in 2nd, and it's Jacob Wilkerson in 1st. Kenny Reel will try to get an in-car look at Max Molina's race-ending incident after this race is concluded. Jacob Wilkerson, though, now only has 8 laps remaining. I can't believe what we are seeing. A rookie going for the 2nd win of the season. Joseph Lewis tagged, and that's going to be another big hit. The 28 down low inside. He's alone. No caution will be called. 43 machine still has himself a lead. It's rookies 1st and 2nd, and old champion is there in 3rd, but I'm sure that's not the old champion we expected. Kyle Freeman putting on a fantastic drive, just has to make it a little longer. Bomar knocked out the way and knocked out big. Cormetis goes for a ride, and now he's in the wall. The field gets spread out even more. This is unbelievable. Fantastic racing up front, but it is becoming a wreck fest all the way on back. Cormetis drops down into 10th. Ross Corlett somehow slides into 4th, and now your top 3 continue to pull away. Jacob Wilkerson there in the lead will take him down with only 6 laps remaining. And the 43 machine, he just has to breathe and get through this one. He's the only guy who's led this race that has not had a wreck happen to him so far. Just mind your business, run your race, keep that line, and hold it if you want to take it down at a checkered flag. The 43 riding aboard with Wilkerson as it stands. Minute hand movement, very patient, very calm. That's the way you deal with this situation right now. Just keep yourself in good spirit. Keep yourself focused, and you'll have a chance to come home with that victory. Jacob Wilkerson leading the way, has himself an edge, but it's not a big one. Joey Stone is gaining, and gaining big. 5 laps to go, and it's going to be all about the rookies up ahead. It's a quarter of a second between the both of them. Lap machine ahead. Hunter Bogdan right there, and there's a spin. 2 drivers go around. They're straight again. Todorov and Kuznetsov. No yellow flag is called. 5 laps remaining. We're going to have an incredible finish between these 2 rookies ahead. It's Wilkerson who still has that race lead. It's Joey Stone who is looking to be quicker lap after lap. He runs the seam down through 1 and 2, and he's going to get a great runoff corner. Now he'll have himself in closing distance with the number 43 as they come around once again. It's going to be the final 3 laps to decide this one. Joey Stone goes way up high. Is that intentional? I'm not quite sure. He rockets way up to the top, and now he loses a lot of time. Half a second separates Joey and Jacob. They are now separate by much more than before. Maybe a bit too much to make a claw right back. Take a look at this though. It is still Wilkerson's race to lose. 3 laps to go. This time by Joey Stone. Still close, maybe not close enough. They'll come around and make it 2 to go this time through, and Wilkerson, as the sun sets, still has the lead. And looking further on back, it's Ross Corlett in 4th, Justin Monch 5th, and James Bomar there in 6th. Only now 14 drivers in the lead lap, going back to Joseph Lewis, who picked up the pieces and got it underway. Nevertheless, as they come down with 2 laps to go, if they get to the start-finish line, the race is official, and it looks like it will be 1 lap to go for James Bomar, and it's 1 lap to go for your race leader and Jacob Wilkerson as well. Wilkerson, a Daytona winner already, looking to make it through just a few more turns to come home with victory, outlasting a former champion, outlasting the dominant man of this season so far, and it looks like tonight we'll have a new man on top of the series, coming around through 3 and 4 to come home as the winner of the Sun Valley 130. Jacob Wilkerson gets it done for his 2nd career victory in only his 4th career start. Have a day, number 43. The king is back, and he's back in the same paint scheme. Jacob Wilkerson puts it in the books and grabs another checkered flag this season. Joey Stone, best career finish in 2nd, and Kyle Freeman, shades of his season 1 glory, in 3rd. Wilkerson coming around to burn down the house, and that's what he will do. He's coming through, the sun lighting up this track, and the 43 ready to celebrate again. It's a burnout party here for Team PBR. Hunter Bogdan there as well as Jacob Wilkerson burns it down to the start-finish line for the 2nd time this season, proving his Daytona victory is no fluke. The number 43 back on the top of the world here, and he's got himself another big win. He's gonna take it down to victory lane, but while he does that, we'll get you your race results for tonight's event. Jacob Wilkerson is another multi-time winner, and the 43 is the first of which this season. This rookie has been unstoppable so far as he wins by 0.5 of a second over Joey Stone. The 43 from 9th on the grid makes it home in 1st. Joey Stone, of course, in 2nd, and Kyle Freeman from 23rd on the board gets his best career finish after season 1. How about it for him? Youngest driver in the league comes home in 3rd, with Ross Corlett just outside the podium in fourth. Justin Moss is in fifth, and James Bomar is in sixth, with Michael Cormenis position number 7 and Zach Todriff in 8th. It's Wesley Kutznoff in 9th and Beaver Serrano in 10th, and then Henry Kaloff in 11th. Dustin Pickle position number 12, with Michael Deitch in 13th, and Joseph Lewis in 14th is the final man on the lead lap. Brandon Rismiller in 15th position is going to be the first retiree, 11 laps down. Hunter Bogdan 16th, Max Molina 17th, and Chance Parker is in 18th. Connor Zola is in 20th, with Brandon Redford 19th, and then from there on out, we've got Andrew Cootie, your pole sitter, finishing 21st. Jay Becker finishes 22nd, with Thomas Johnson in 23rd. Joe Reinhardt comes home in 24th, with Brody Tostaika 25th. Jordan Herring comes home 26th, with then the number 27 spot occupied by Brandon McNeil. From there on out, Vincent Guecci 28th, Dana Prestige in 29th, and finally, Bryce Hamrick as race control comes home in 30th. Nevertheless, we see our first multi-time winner of the season, and that man is Jacob Wilkerson. The number 43 is back on top, and it is another win, this time in the Sun Valley. How do you feel after your second win of the season?
It feels good, especially after finishing second at Kansas last week. I knew I wasn't the best car here. Like Cootie and Molina were both really fast. It just sucks that they both got wrecked, and as soon as I knew they were both wrecked, I knew I had pretty much this race won, because the clean air at this track is really good. Like, it's really hard to pass here. You can't really pass here. And yeah, that's basically, the car was very loose. Like, the setup was just like it was very bad. Like, the car would just be like so loose exit, so loose entry. Like, I was the whole race, I basically just saved my tires, and basically, if like during the long green flag run, if you just barely slide your tires just a little bit, then basically your run is over. And yeah, that's basically how I was able to get the win here.
And it looks like the clean air was king tonight here in Phoenix. Now, we saw quite a few yellow flags on the day, and it looks like you actually gained the lead for the first time on pit road. How is it managing the defense after that point? Because it seems like nobody could get by you.
Basically, all I had to do was just drive the car how I normally was the whole race. Like, let the guys behind make the mistake. I saw Cormetis self spin, and Molina, he tried to pass me, and then I guess he was about to spin, and he overcorrected big time. And yeah.
And it looks like it all worked out in your favor. The number 43 back in victory lane for the second time. Now, with that in mind, another victory in the books. Next week, of course, coming up after this one in Phoenix, and that is going to take us, as I take a look at our schedule very quickly, from, of course, Phoenix Raceway all the way down to New Hampshire, and that's going to be a definitely different looking race. The Magic Mile, how do you think that one's going to
go? New Hampshire, that is definitely one of my worst tracks, so I don't know how that's going to go. So, yeah, I just had to maybe get some practice in for that track and just go into the race and just drive the car and hopefully just hope for the best.
And there we have it, Jacob Wilkerson hoping for the best after another victory here in Phoenix Raceway. What a way to win it for the number 43. Any thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Shout out to all the people watching. Shout out to my sponsors, Maconi, Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse. Huge thanks to Zach Todriff for giving me the opportunity to race for PBR. Huge thanks to everyone at PBR for working with me throughout the race. And you for broadcasting. And yeah, this race was fun.
And there we have it. Jacob Wilkerson gets it done to the Sun Valley 130, coming home a winner for the second time in 4 races this season. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And how about it for Jacob Wilkerson? And the rookies have been on top so far this season. The second man on the board tonight, Joey Stone and his number 8 machine, having the rookie stripes as well. And he is our second place driver in tonight's race here in Phoenix. Joey Stone, which is in the broadcast booth, second place on the night, and the kick streaming machine brings home its best career finish. Runner-up, very close to the checkered flag. How do you feel after this one?
I feel like this is going to be one of those ones I wish I had back. First and foremost, shout out to Jacob Wilkerson on the win. He's one of the fastest guys every single week, and it was pretty cool there the last few laps. We were catching him there a little bit, and I just overdrove turn 3 a little bit, kind of gave up that interval that I was kind of working on and everything. But yeah, the kick machine was amazing. Our kick Chevrolet Camaro Z01 was really good. I mean, we started 8th. Just kind of told myself before the race, slow and steady is going to win this race. Just keep all 4 wheels straight as much as possible and kind of let others do their thing. And, we ran, I think, top 5 the entire race almost. I mean, we did really good. I think I actually overexceeded my expectations too a little bit, but that was fun. That was great. It was a really hard combo, which I really appreciate. I love driving these cars on the edge a little bit, and almost got our first career win. So we'll just have to keep on chasing it.
The biggest thing I think you took away from last week at Kansas to this week is you were absolutely able to avoid everything that came at you. We saw yellow flags, we saw chaos, we saw attrition. The number 8 machine looked to be clean all throughout this week. It was a struggle last week to make it home, but this time around, it looks like your Chevy Camaro was without damage. So was that the big thing for you to make it up here? Was it all about playing out the strategy? What do you think really got you here at the end of the day?
Yeah, last week was definitely a shame. I feel like we had a really good car last week. We were just out on the unfortunate end of making moves and just being at the wrong place at the wrong time and getting involved in some wrecks. But today I just kind of told myself with Phoenix, I know it's a really slick track. I kind of told myself just to kind of, let's make sure we get some good track position, try to stay up front as much as we possibly can here, which we did so, thankfully. And just try to avoid the chaos and see where we end up that last half of the race. And I mean, we were sitting around 5th. 4th place there at the end. I saw Max Molina and Cootie had some trouble, so I know the window really opened up for me to maybe go for the win. Those two were so fast and everything. But yeah, at the end, it was just making sure to keep the car straight. If others were trying to be super aggressive and trying to pass me, just let them go and get them back later on in the run. And I mean, it paid off. And like I said before, I kind of overexceeded myself a little bit. We had great speed. I mean, incredible speed. And I literally just bought this track like an hour and a half before the green flag too, and we got into a little practice session, just learn a little bit more how this car handles here, and we picked it up right there. And honestly, I feel really confident if we can make the Final Four championship. I'm feeling really good if we can come back here and maybe go for a title too.
Consistency has been key for the number 8 machine, and it shows once again. 2nd place, career best finish, heading into the Magic Mile. How much of this tonight in the 1 mile track can you take to the next?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know next week is New Hampshire, and that track definitely is a little similar to Phoenix. You don't have as much banking there, so you really got to make sure you keep the car straight. So really, really happy with the speed we had here. Hopefully we can carry it on to next week in the kick car and everything. I don't hate New Hampshire, but I've never bought New Hampshire. I never ran it. So we're going to buy the track as soon as this race is over, start running some practice laps, and get ready for next week, maybe go for our first win. So yeah, feeling really confident about what we can bring from here to New Hampshire next week.
And another solid run for Joey Stone, this time bagging a 2nd place finish after a hard night's work in the Sun Valley 130. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
I just want to give a big thank you to Kick for obviously building an incredible platform to allow me to continue that dream of being a full-time streamer once again, like a couple years ago. Shout out to my incredible spotter, Tangos / Toll Owen. He does an incredible job spotting and also making paint schemes and everything. And of course, shout out to FORL for putting on a good series. Shout out to my teammates for cleaning me, racing me very clean all race long. And of course, shout out to my awesome community that's watching my kick stream right now. They're so supportive. They stuck around from start to finish. And without them, I wouldn't be here today, driving my butt off trying to go win a championship. So thank you all around to everybody.
And there we have it, Joey Stone. Gotta say, great to have the kick community watching along. Hope they watch both of us on this one. Great finish. Number 8 machine, 2nd place tonight. Thank you once again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
And Joey Stone going to be back on the way. That's our 2nd place finisher and the Season 1 champion, Kyle Freeman, back in form tonight. And Kyle, I think this is the first time I've seen you get a top 3 in this series. You called your championship race, but this might be the most complete race you put together in your entire time racing in this league. How do you feel after tonight's performance?
I feel amazing after that. Oh my, that really felt good.
And tonight seemed to really work all together. Tell us more.
Well, I found something. I found that if you don't put as much throttle in the input, you don't spin as much, and stuck to that, and managed to avoid all the carnage and got P3.
And it looks like you made it real simple for yourself there. You want newer tires at the end of the day, so more grip to get back in front. And it looks like being cautious was the way to go. A lot of wrecks, so for you, was the big thing really just to avoid all that? Or was there anything else in the strategy that was more important?
It was really just to avoid all the carnage. I mean, the 02 and the 28. So in the last restart, 02, 28, I knew they were slower than me, so I knew I was probably going to get a P3, but I didn't want to jinx myself. And then, so I passed them. Yeah, P3.
And P3, the best finish you've had in over a season in this league. What a way to turn it on for Season 3. Your best finish in quite some time. Now, New Hampshire, Magic Mile, coming up next. What can you do to take it to the next level and perhaps even go for more?
Well, that's a track I don't race on a lot, and it's a track I'm not a fan of, but I can try. I mean, I'm the worst at that track, in my opinion. But I could maybe try and do what I did this week.
And it looks like for this week it worked out well, and it might just be the formula for Kyle Freeman going forward. His biggest complete race this season, I think it's his entire career, the Season 1 champion, at the site of his biggest triumph, comes home with a podium finish. Any thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Well, I don't know if my grandparents are still tuned in, but hi. And my parents, hi. And, well, yeah. That's all I gotta say.
There we have it. Kyle Freeman, the youngest driver in this league, pulls home an incredibly impressive finish, the 29, third place tonight, as we will go to a brief break just after this. Thank you, Kyle, for your time.
Okay, thank you.
And we're going to take a brief break. As we mentioned, live on FTN. Give us just a moment. We will return with all access, requested interviews, and we'll get a look at the Max Molina incident that happened earlier in this race. We'll be right back after this brief takeaway. We're going to take away, get our thoughts collected, and go to the next round of interviews. We'll be right back. Hope you stay with us, and we'll return in just a moment.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
And as we come back to live feed here on FTN, we'll start it off with a viewer request of the onboard footage of the Max Molina incident. Take a look at this one. Molina working through. He was in the second position at this moment, right behind Jacob Wilkerson, and it looks like goes in the corner just a bit too hot, and it snaps, and it goes overboard, destroys the front end, and that takes his night, and it destroys it. The 45 done and done on that note, and that changes the complexion of this race in its entirety. Michael Cormetis, the first requested interview of the night. We'll get him in here and now. He's currently waiting for us. He finished this one in the 7th position. Not a bad run for him at all, as Michael Cormetis joins us in the broadcast booth, able to salvage a top 10 finish out of a very hectic night. How do you feel after this race?
Not very good, David. Definitely feel like I should have had a lot better. Just the setup was not good at all. Did not like it at all. You really could not put any power down on the exit of the corner, else you're going to spin like I did twice. And it gets hard when you're trying to push and make up positions and try to get a podium. So I was expecting a podium. I was expecting Calif to get a podium. Shout out to him. That was probably the best race I've seen him put on in the whole time I've been racing him. Like he was outrunning me at some points. So yeah, disappointed. And also the inconsistent yellows. It's just yeah, not the day I was looking for.
And it looks like damage early on might have set you for a different path today. We saw you had some on that right side all throughout the race, and you had to recover from that point onward. How was it managing that damage all throughout this one?
Honestly, it really was just cosmetic. It really had no effect on my car. Only just the toes bent a little bit, but really no effect on my car at all. So it was fast. It was fast nonetheless, and I feel like I should have had a easy top 5, but going to New Hampshire next week. I'm not the biggest fan of that track, but I'll see what I can do over there. Hopefully, get a better result than this week.
And New Hampshire coming up next, another 1 mile track. What's the big thing for you to sort of keep the success going that you've had as of recent and try to bring it back together in the Magic Mile?
Limit mistakes. Limit mistakes when when you're prone to make a mistake, and when you have setups like these. So it's that's really gonna be the key for me, and just keeping consistency. Like I had the two podiums in a row. I'm hoping to after the streak got cut off today, hoping to rebuild that later on in the season and pick up some points and maybe a win.
And looking to keep the success in this number 25 camp, Michael Cormetis finishes 7th tonight. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
As always in every interview I do with you guys, my parents, and yeah, see you guys next week.
And there we have it, Michael Cormetis, 7th place here in the Sun Valley 130. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you.
And Michael Cormetis is going to be back on the move. Our next of the 3 requested interviews we have tonight will be 13th place finisher in Michael Deitch, able to keep this race on the positive side. Top 15 finish for the 57 camp. How do you feel after running the Sun Valley 130?
I mean, considering how the last few races went, I'll take it. I probably could have gone a few more spots if I didn't end up losing the rear end of my car off of 2 with I don't know, 6 to go or something like that. But I'll definitely take it. Shout out to all the JBS guys, Let's Star, which is a new sponsor making Minecraft mods that are NASCAR related. And like I said, considering how the first few races went, I am proud of how tonight went.
And able to put together a stronger race than the earlier portions of your season, so good to see you're back on the right steps. So what's the big thing, or what's the key takeaway you brought from the last races to make this one more successful?
I think just being comfortable with the car. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have said the setup for Phoenix is not good at all. I did not like it at all. I couldn't even go one lap of testing without spinning in the dogleg. So I think just making the proper adjustments and finding what works for me is what was able to help me get to my finishing result. So I think just making the car as comfortable as possible.
And able to adapt well enough for a top 15 here, 13th of the night in Phoenix. And we'll head back to the Northeast with New Hampshire coming up next. So what can you do to keep the success and even improve on as we head to the Magic Mile?
I think just keep the same formula from today and just fill it up. Bring it over to New Hampshire next week because, both 1 mile long tracks. New Hampshire's a bit flatter. I think the setup for New Hampshire is about the same as Phoenix. So, we will make the necessary adjustments and hope for a better finish in New Hampshire.
And looking to get back on top for Michael Deitch, the number 57 comes home 13 tonight here in Phoenix Raceway. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Thanks to my other sponsors, Akron Bands and OCMEA. Thanks, Joaquin, for putting this all together, and can't wait to head to New Hampshire.
And there we have it, heading up north after a race in Arizona. Michael Deitch, 13th on the night. Thank you once again for your time.
Yep, thanks, David.
And Michael Deitch going to be back on the way as we take our final requested interview of the night, and that would be with the 00 machine of Hunter Bogdan. Hunter Bogdan, 16th on the board tonight, able to make a lot of spots up despite being far down on the laps. You were able to make it through quite well and eventually claw right behind the top 15. How do you feel after this one?
I feel good. I ran a good race. We're still a young team. Second best finish so far. What else can I say?
And it looks like a good race to take away from here, and it was a hectic one. 13 laps down, but that doesn't tell the whole story of your race. Fighting back and eventually making it close to the top 15 is a big thing in itself, so how was it making it back after early incidents?
It was a hell of a fight. I drove my butt off, tried to get back up. Kind of felt like Michigan last year in the chase. Just was trying to get back up there.
And it looks like you're able to do that quite well. What was the biggest thing? Was it just keeping the car without damage? Was it any pit stop strategy? What really kept you in the fight to at least make these spots back up as more and more drivers continue to wreck?
Just pure spite. I just had the spite to finish the race because of the whole entire truck thing. I wanted to show that I am able to finish races. I can race respectively with other competitors, that I wouldn't be in anybody's way.
And there we have it. Hunter Bogdan simply able to spike through it and get home here in Phoenix. New Hampshire, it's up next. How do you think you're going to do there?
I feel like I'm going to do well. It's a flat track, kind of like Milwaukee. I did really well at Milwaukee last year, so I'll see what I can do in the next race.
And there we have it. It is another similar track in length. Hunter Bogdan looking for some more success as he comes home here 16th. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my sponsors, who are my virtual employers, AMPA Enterprises Incorporated and Northern Reliable Transport. Really good guys there.
And there we go. Hunter Bogdan fighting hard to get it home in 16th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Hunter Bogdan going to be back on the move as he finishes this one in the 16th spot. It is Jacob Wilkerson who gets it done for his second win of the season here in the Valley of the Sun. 130 Phoenix Raceway conquered by the 43. Next Wednesday we'll be live once again, and we'll be back with New Hampshire as we'll have multiple streams next week. The Integrity Racing League and the Octane Series coming back to action as well. If you like the Next-Gen Racing, you'll have 2 back-to-back nights to experience it live on FTN. As always, I've been your host for tonight's broadcast, David Croy. It's great to have you here, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation of the FORL Cup Series and the Sun Valley 130. I'd like to thank you all for your time watching this race. Whether you're here for a minute or the whole amount of time we went broadcasting, your support is greatly appreciated, and we'd hope to have you once more. From our studios to your homes, we hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we hope to see you whenever we're live again on FTN.